Jennifer. Welcome back to my Flagstaff home. I have a video today to do for you that is called The Problem with HelloFresh. Now, I have actually gotten HelloFresh for quite some time. I subscribed for a while and then canceled for a while and then subscribed again. And their food is really good, very high quality food. And I personally have gotten the veggie box. You can get a traditional box that has, you know, like regular kind of meat items with side dishes. And then they have the one that's the vegetarian plan. And I have heard from people that when they get the traditional box, that the recipes are nothing to really write home about. I think it's a very different story with the vegetarian box because those recipes are very unique and they're not, some of them are cheese heavy, but for the most part they're really not. They're almost plant-based with maybe a garnish of cheese. And the great thing about HelloFresh is you can see the menus that are coming up, the meal plans that are coming up, and you can skip a week if you don't like what's coming up. In the traditional plan, you can switch out recipes you don't like. So say for example, you're getting 3 meals a week in your box. You'll get a selection of maybe 6 different meals and you can choose the 3 you want. This is not the case for the vegetarian plan because with those, there are 3 meals and those are the ones you get. So if you don't happen to like, say for example, tofu, then you have to skip the whole week. You can't just trade out the one meal that has tofu in it. So that is one problem with HelloFresh. And I have written to them and said, why don't you give us some more choices with the veggie plan? And they've not changed to that. So that's unfortunate. But what's really great about it is they give you these really nice big cards that give you the recipe. This is not something that is a super quick meal because you have to do the cooking and the prepping. But what's nice about it is that if the recipe calls for 2 scallions, they only send you 2 scallions. So you don't have a whole bunch of them. Like if you go to the store and you're making a recipe and you need 2 scallions, you buy a whole bunch and then you use 2 of them and the others get kind of slimy in your fridge. So that's a nice thing about HelloFresh is that they just give you what you need. But you do have to prep everything and cook. Most of the meals they'll probably only take 20 to 30 minutes to make. So they're quite simple and very tasty. And the ingredients are really fresh. And the only time I ever had an issue with ingredients that weren't fresh when I got them was not their fault. It was something where it got delayed in the mail or, you know, some kind of thing happened and so it took longer to get to me. But in that case, they were really good about reimbursing me for the entire box. And so, you know, they're good about following through on stuff like that. But why have I said that there's a problem with HelloFresh? I would say about 1/3 of the time that I've gotten HelloFresh, they have had missing ingredients or incorrect ingredients. Like one time, the recipe called for basil, and instead of basil, there was mint in the box. And, you know, you would imagine the 2 flavors are not interchangeable. So there was another time that there were these veggie tacos, and one of the ingredients was roasted red onions. And so it had roasted red onions and it had several different kinds of roasted vegetables in there. Well, the red onion didn't come in the box. It was just missing. And so, you know, the idea of a service like this is the convenience of not having to run to the store. So in that case, I either needed to go to the store to buy a red onion so I could complete this recipe or go without it, which was leaving out a major flavor of the dish. And this has literally happened 1/3 of the time that I have subscribed. And so, I mean, to their credit, when I contacted them, they reimbursed me not for the whole box, but like $10. And, you know, $10 for a missing red onion is a pretty good deal. But it just was excessive. I could understand with a service like that if something was left out on occasion, that would be expected because mistakes happen. But 1/3 of the time, I thought was just kind of ridiculous. So let me just say, do I recommend HelloFresh? Well, I think it's certainly worth a try, because if you use somebody's referral code, you get you can either get 40% off your first box. Sometimes you'll get more than that. Sometimes you can get a free week of food. And so that, you know, it's worth it to try when it's going to be discounted so heavily. And I will put my referral link in the space below if you want to try it. But just know that what I tried over the past, it was probably the past year and a half, and the last box I got, I think, was probably about 6 weeks ago. But in that past year and a half, there were a lot of times when there was a missing ingredient, and you know, that's just kind of not cool. But I thought I would let you know so you can go into this decision-making process with all the information. Like I said, the recipes, at least in the vegetarian plan, are very unique and very tasty. I have tried a couple of their meal plans that had meat in them, and they were good and fresh, and the ingredients are always fresh. Really, they never made a mistake ever with getting the food to me within the time frame that it's supposed to. They box everything with these big blocks of ice, and so everything is fresh and it stays cool in there. If there's meat in it or cheese, they actually put a block of ice, and then they put the meat or the cheese, and they put another block of ice on top of it, and then they put all the other ingredients, and then surrounded by insulation. So it's very nicely packaged. Nothing was ever leaking. I never had a problem with anything like that. But the big problem was missing ingredients. So people from HelloFresh, if you're watching this, your quality control needs to improve, or you're going to lose customers. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you guys, and if you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask in the comment section in the space below. If you're not a current subscriber to My Flagstaff Home, hit that button right there. YouTube will let you know when I upload new videos, and I hope I will see you again. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.